Hello and welcome to Pest Perspective, episode number 25. This week we have on Anna Mollins from Veritas Pest Consultancy. Have I said it right again?
Nearly.
Hold on. I got it right with Paul. Veritas. There we go.
Latin for the truth.
That's it. He told me that, but I messed it up this time round, so I'll be able to see this time. And also, Anna Mollins is the called lady in charge of the Pest Minds initiative as well, which we will talk about later. We will. So, have you had a good day today? Has it been all right?
Yeah, it's been a busy day. Summer holidays, so it's kind of juggling work.
Are you in the first week? Are you in the first week of it?
Yeah, first week. So started yesterday, and kids are in day camp today.
Mine started earlier than that. Mine went second week. I was finished not last week, the Friday before that. I did.
Gee, does that mean you go? Are you because you got a longer week?
No, what it is our school, the kids' school, they finish later, so they add it up in time over the year. So in October, when everyone else gets 1 week, my kids get 2. They do. So because they finish later, like 10 to 4, they add the time up over the year, so they get to finish early. But they go back pretty much. All the schools go around there back pretty much the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of a government.
Ours get longer. Well, no. When you've got an academy, you don't have to follow. They don't have to follow what the government tells them to. They don't.
True.
They make their own rules as long as they do enough hours, etc. Whatever it is.
It must be handy though. 10 to 4 pickup must be quite. You can get that little bit more in when it comes to being a working parent.
Well, yeah, it will be. It's because I remember when I went to school. I mean, secondary school. I finished at 10 to 3. I did. At secondary school, I think they still finished that school at that time. I don't know. Long time ago. That was. So, do you want to tell people what you do in your current role at the minute?
Okay. Like in previous roles in other places, I am a woman of. I do this and I put on many hats. So I came into Veritas officially. I'm a business development manager. I think it's just something to put on a piece of paper, really. So what I do at Veritas is effectively support Paul and the team and in various ways. So 1 minute I'll be consulting on some bird netting. The other minute I'll be talking at one of the shows, trade associations. I will be doing the marketing. I'll be doing the business development. I'll be doing some consultancy work or some auditing. It's a whole kind of mixed bag of things. Training as well, but it's all the stuff that isn't directly pest control. So anything else that sort of satellites around pest management, or pest control services, that's what we as a business do, and I kind of put myself wherever is necessary or needed. So
well, I want to thank you for something Paul didn't thank you for, making the quiz book volume 1.
Yes,
because it suggests more, doesn't it?
Yeah, volume 1.
That came up. That did.
We will be coming out with that. So yeah, Paul's got a fantastic bank of knowledge, and we decided he's been egging to put something through together, and I said, right, let's do this and make it an annual thing. And it's really nice. I love the fact that it's a little bit of quirky lunchtime fun, and I had way too much fun making it with him and doing it. And the fact that you can get 15 BPCA registered points just from doing the book, that's more than half a year's worth of points just from doing puzzles.
It's 12, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's 12. 25. 12. 12 puzzles. 25. 25 pages. So 12 puzzles.
It is good because it came up and I got a whole story about why it was quizzes. I didn't expect the story it got. It says no, it all started at the BPCA. I was told as a trainer, it has to be fun. It can't just be off a spreadsheet or whatever. And that's when he started coming up with the more curated ways of learning. Yeah, that's where it all came from.
Paul's fantastic at, and it's capturing beyond the PowerPoint presentation dull training. It's death by PowerPoint is not what Veritas is about. It's all about reaching everyone's unique little learning patterns and ideas. We're all a very practical. It's a practical job, so there are obviously a collection of the science bods within us, but actual hands-on learning with activities and other ways that aren't just trying to absorb some form of knowledge in between trying to get your job done is it's not what we're about. We're about interesting, fun, new ways of learning.
I'm going to complete it by the end of the year, but I keep asking Paul to, because I'm obviously with Big Basis Prom and the British Pest Register. Mm-hmm. I've got no way of registering with the British Pest Register. Because you know how
I have contacted Sean a few times asking if I can get it registered. I have no response so far. So I will continue my monthly chase. You can prod however you want. You can listen to the podcast.
I will prod him. Okay. Yeah, I did mention to Paul, and I would like, because you've got, with Basis, you've got to send photographs. Well, on there, that would be very difficult. That would on there.
You don't actually. When it comes to Basis Prompt, you can send me or send Veritas the evidence of you having done it, and then we can register your points. So
that would be easier, because at the minute you just get an auto response that they can't help you at the minute. They do.
Yeah. So we absolutely. So we've got as a trainer, we have online sort of setups that we can add and manually add. So just as long as you send me some pictures to prove that you've done it, then I'll give you your number. Yet,
but I will when I've done it. I will. I've learned a lot as well, because everything in there, like some of the things I don't know a lot about, to be honest. I mean, say the gas, the what's it called?
Aluminium phosphide, yeah.
I know nothing about that, and I was going to my dad about this. And to be fair, he's done the ticket a long time ago, and he got most of them right. I didn't know any of the answers really. I'm not trained in it. I'm not.
No, that's it. And this is the whole point. The collection of the book. It's like you're not expected to be able to do the whole book. If you do them, fantastic. But it's about finding those little answers. There's a few in there that are just like, actually, you know what? I might need to look this one up. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. And have you or is it, what page is it? The page 49. There is a typo in there, and I'll give you extra bonus points for trying to figure it out.
There's a typo. There was one of them where I thought, this ain't right. I don't know if I'll have to look 49. After. Is it in what? Is it in wasps?
No, it's not in wasps. It's in vertebrates.
Okay.
In the pictorial of vertebrates.
Okay. I'll have to have a look later.
When we launched it in November, so around Pest Tech time is when we launched Volume 1, and we'll be doing Volume 2. And every year we'll have a new batch. So those who are doing their points and enjoy it and like learning.
I think it's good. I'll be honest with you. If anyone's listening, I mean, I don't know how people are struggling to panicking about their points for next year, because if you're with the British Pest Register, with my podcast, you can, you know how Basis limit your amount of podcasts you do? Well, this British Pest Register, you can claim as much as you want. You can. But crew points is separate. You need to do that separately.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
In general, it's quite easy. I mean, I said to someone, get this book. 12. I mean, look at it. I said, okay, got to pay for delivery, but you're really looking at £1 of CPD point. I said, you can't get no better. But I said, it's fun learning, isn't it? It is.
And you're not having to do anything outside of you. You're not having to leave work for half a day or a day. You can just put it in and amongst your day to day and do it. Lunchtime, your lunch break, just whip in a puzzle or two, half, one, whatever.
It's the most creative. It's the most creative thing I've seen in CPD world in a long time. I've just bought the cards as well. Got a van with a clip. I've bought them. I
can't remember whether you went for the clip or the loose. Yeah, I brought in the clips. Yeah, I mind the clip version. I love hanging it around.
For the van as well. But I came up against some people online. They were like, "Oh, don't you think this is a bit old-fashioned?" I went, "Yeah," but I said it's a better way of learning. But I said, a lot of the AI apps, I've tested them, and they've actually got it wrong, or I've put the photo in 4 different times and I got 4 different results. I did.
Yeah.
So at least with this, it's more about learning what they actually look like. Because don't get me wrong, I know what wasp looks like, etc. I'm not like, probably, if you were to look at something, you'd be like, boom, straight away. But I want to be like that. I want to be like, that is a so and so beetle or whatever. I do.
And that
That's why I
comes
got
from it comes from practice and regularity. And there are so many of the pest insects, particularly the insects anyway, that we don't come across regularly.
Yeah.
That you may have learned, and you may have been fantastic, got fantastic scores in your ISPH, whatever it was, level 2 or beyond. But if it's not a regular, reoccurring pattern in your day-to-day job, then it just slips, and everything sort of kind of becomes a bit funny. So,
well, there's
just
a
having
saying
that around reminds you. So,
and there's a saying, you don't. Yeah, what's it called? If you don't use it, you lose it. So if you don't do that pest, you will forget over time. You will. But yeah,
my favourite thing about the cards, particularly when you're with customers or clients or anyone who's in the industry, getting them out and just kind of highlighting it's not just cockroaches and this and that. Here, client, look at all the scientific knowledge that we know and we've learned, all these pest species. It's yeah, my favorite trick is getting, I think it's at least 8 to 10 of the stored product beetles, the ones that look very similar, and kind of going, here you go, any of these could be in your factory or something like that. And they're just like, okay, I saw one and assumed they're all the same thing, but no, they're not. So
they're all different. They are. There's that many different. When you tell them there's like so many species and subspecies and that many, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it is. There's that many. There is. But yeah, no, I think Veritas, there we go. I think it's something unique to learning. I do that's been needed, because it's mostly, I mean, podcast is a big change, isn't it? A lot you can do more learning with podcasts, but mostly before that, it was either read your magazines or go to on the road days or courses, etc., which is all good. But this brings a new spin, because I recommend this book to people. I said, get some CPD and buy this book. You learn a load, get 12 points. You do.
People don't, when we have this conversation, so if I am at one of the MPTA on the roads or at a forum, I'm like, yes, this is that many CPD. Yes, it's fun learning, but it is actually that much CPD, and somebody gets something out of it. And there's no begrudgery of having to try and do learning and get your points for the year. It's not. It's a bit of fun. And it's great. You can just have your CPD points pretty much done for the year. So.
Yeah, you can. I'm at like 42 something. I'm trying to beat last year's. I got past my level 2 last year. Let's do a clarification. I passed my RSPH level 2 award in pest management. Because if you say level 2 now, people presume you're on about the lower one. But you have to clarify now. I hit 75 last year with that, so I'm seeing if I can hit more than that without it. But we'll see. We will.
And it is interesting. So if you're on the pest, are you on the pest register and you're on both? You said.
Oh, I'm actually on both, believe it or not. I won't be able to beat the points level of the British Pest Register, though. I won't be able to beat that.
Different schemes are all on different sort of levels, aren't they, in terms of what?
Right, it's because they're a self-register. You see, British Pest Register. You can register. If you listen to a podcast, what you've learned, etc., and based on how long the podcast was, you get points. Where basis, it's literally set to 6 points only for the whole thing. But yet, I'm a now CPD provider who has been given 10 points, where people can only use 6. I don't understand why they give me 10 for the year.
It's the same. It's BPCA registered, so I'm with them as members of BPCA, and so they're our team. But it's the same process there: self-registering, explaining what you've learned, how you've learned, and you do then also reflect on actually, what can I use and utilize? And you can use your own job and what you're doing day to day, because that is learning, on the job learning, and things from here and there. There's no sort of you must hit this certain. It's like, no. We all learn differently. We all absorb different things as well. So self-registration is, I think, the way to go with CPD. It really is. Well,
I do, because I emailed Scott from the BPCA, and I didn't know how it worked. I just said I got this podcast, and I said, it's a learning podcast. It says, are you interested? He says, no. He says, we are. It doesn't work like that. I says, what do you mean? Oh, it's all self-register. So if you tell them to register their CPD with us, they've just got to tell us what they've learned and how long for.
Yeah.
So they could have all your podcasts if they wanted to. He says it's up to them. So self-registering looks like the way forward. There's maybe one basis might do it one day. You never know. You never know. Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Indeed, it's a different way, and
So,
with the change in the upcoming changes, obviously for the whole structure of pest control learning and qualifications as well. That's going to kind of make a change in terms of how people are thinking of learning as well. So,
it will. It will.
As well as the crew deadline as well coming up. Everyone's sort of. It's always been a bit of a battle for CPD, but actually, if you now think about it, you're thinking of learning all the time and you're doing it. You're like, actually, I am learning and I'm able to meet all these kind of criteria, and I'm doing it anyway. So just reflection.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm gonna have to make some videos on it because there is people still stuck about how to get the points for next year. And like, there's information in all the magazines.
Yep.
The podcasts have mentioned them. Newsletters are sent out. I imagine the BPCA are doing the same thing as the MPTA. They've got it in their magazines as well. I don't know how much more we can do because it's everywhere what you do. It's quite simple, but people are panicking over it. They are.
Well, it's what the question is. People are either panicking or they just aren't in that frame of mind where I need to be doing learning. So it's all there. When you're willing to go and do it and actually acknowledge doing it is kind of it's getting out of that. There's a pre-concept, isn't there, of it being, oh, CPD, I've got to do this for the year.
I think it's changing slowly.
But it is.
I think it is changing because you just got to see it from a different point of view. Yeah. You just got to see that your customers, it's helping you be the better version of what you want to do in your job. Just become better. Even if you don't use all that knowledge in your job, you still know it and you've learned something fresh.
Yeah, you never know when it's going to come up as well. So
true, it is. So how did you get into the industry then? Where was your first start in the industry?
I mean, I can go all the way back to university, and I did an ecology and conservation degree. So I did that. I remember doing my dissertation was based on the study of leaf litter degradation and our natural cockroach species in the UK and things like that. Yeah. So it started there, but then I wanted to go through proper ecology-based surveying, and I was going to be a bat specialist in surveying.
Okay.
But you have to have 2 years of voluntary work to get your special species license. And I lived in Brighton at the time. There was no way I could afford a flat and do 2 years of voluntary work. So I was like, right, sod it. So I kind of went off and did jobs X, Y, and Z, and somehow ended up back into the sort of area by going into Pest Fix. So when it was a teeny tiny little company, it was just the two England brothers and a warehouse guy and me. And it was literally 4 people in a little office. And I think I don't know how I got the job. It was related to the fact that I was moving and my degree and just other experience from other jobs.
Sorry, just jump in. Are you a degree? Are you not? Can you be called a doctor?
No, I have not got a PhD. I have a BSc honours.
It's still cool. BCE.
BSc.
BSc. Okay.
The Bachelors of Science.
Very nice. That is. All the clever people keep coming on my podcast. That's cool.
I mean, for me, I didn't know where to go next after like high school. So it was like, and then it was like, okay, you can do university. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll just roll into it. What do I kind of like? And I just ended up in that sort of world. And then came out with the degree. I think I became more independent at that point when I was in my wee infancy. That was quite a long time ago now, but yeah. So having the degree side of it's a step into science, and that's and studies and research and that sort of world. That was nice. But I did leave that behind for a good 8 to 10 years because I couldn't carry on with it what I thought I wanted. So yeah, so I ended up in Pest Fix, and then new to the industry of pest control completely in that respect. I have my science backing, but in terms of the pest world, I knew nothing. And then just sort of rocked in, did my RSPH level 2 award in pest management. Did it all online, I think, and then took the exam in a few months, and then it just kind of developed from there. So I was there for near on 9 years.
So what did you do? What did you do from when you started to where you like went through? Was it? Did you do a whole? Was it another job with all the hats?
Again, a multi hat. So Dan and Matt, obviously, Dan was a pest management professional who wanted to supply bird specialist products to the little man. So effectively, you didn't have to spend hundreds of thousands of pounds to get decent discounts. The whole point of Pest Fix when it first started was flat rate, any trade pest controller, so that everyone was on the same playing field. Particularly as obviously a lot of pest controllers, they want to be sole traders, and they like their own working environment. They don't want to be part of something big. So I kind of came in because that was growing and developing, and I was helping with initially sales, admin, debt control. Then I went into sort of marketing and helping with warehouse and product development, and then just through training and learning and everything, I just kind of grew and grew and grew, and we grew the business, got extra people in, developed our product range more, and hey, it just naturally grew, and I grew with it. So wherever I was needed, that's kind of where I was, and I was constantly doing all sorts of different things at all different times. And any question, it was like, Anna, can you? And so, yep, I can answer that for you. We can do this. We can get it done. And any project that came forward, it's like, right, Anna, I've got this idea, make it happen. And I was like, okay, fine. And then I think it was only last year, actually. Now it's coming up to a year that I left Pest Fix. So I left. It's like it got to a point. It's a large corporation type. It was going for the corporate route, and I was like, you know what? I've grown this child as far as I can grow. I want to keep its ethos and stuff, but it needs to grow and develop on its own. And I want another challenge. I want something else.
So I remember you announced you were leaving that entire industry. Then you came back. You did.
Yes, 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
So I left. I was like, I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, right, I know this is time for me to go. I need to do something else. I want to use my skills and have it make more of an impact in terms of helping a small business or kind of developing from infancy to larger. And I ended up just rocking into, I think it was a chimney cowl products. So ironically, it was actually a supplier of Pest Fix. No relationship. It was more the fact that I happened to know the guy who worked there. It was down the road from where I live. So he was like, yeah, you know what? I knew you from a baby group. Let's take you on. So but after 3 weeks, I was like, I miss the pest industry. And I remember in my interview to this place, the chap said to me, he's like, look, I've looked on Facebook, I've seen you've done lots of interviews and things and public stuff, and one of your interviews worries me. It was with I think it was one of the Pest X or something, and it was with BPCA. And I was explaining how if someone's in the pest industry, you rock into the job, either you're spat out within a couple of months or you're in it for life. It kind of just happens that way. Not many people kind of come into it and then stay for a few years and then go somewhere else.
Right.
And he said, should I be worried? I was like, no, I invest myself, whoever it is, I put in heart and soul, and I did. But then I just thought, I miss it. I really do. So then I knew Paul Westgate from years and years prior. So he would be, he did some aluminium phosphide training for Pest Fix, some insect identification training that I got him to come do. He did audits as well because it is a store of pesticides, and he works with basis to do that. So I knew him from years and years and years, and it just so happened that we had to sit down, and he was like, you know what? I think I'm ready to take Veritas. We need something. And I was like, all right, I can help you do that. And it just sort of happened, and now I feel like I'm back in the same situation where I started in Pest Fix. I'm now in Veritas, but and definitely within a company which its ethos is exactly what Pest Fix was at the beginning. It's the alignment of it is fantastic, and it's not out to make money. It's not out to like take over the world and buy companies or do, I don't know, lots of different things that you can see in the industry. It's about bringing the best of the best pest control, bringing it out of the pest controllers, but educating the public, educating the commercial aspect of it particularly. So we do field biologist inspections for a lot of food factories and things that are running under certain standards, and it's kind of highlighting how good pest controllers are and what worth that they can bring to a business. And in auditing and supporting them, it's all about bringing the best of pest management. And I think that is where the industry is going. Generally, we're all trying, or at least I can see the ones who are striving, they're the ones that are talking about it, trying to be better in themselves. Like you say, with the change in the CPD attitude, everyone
well,
is starting to
I think it's starting to change. It used to be a bit of a, oh no, like a task, and now it's like more like I want to learn.
Yeah, and I remember when the crew scheme first came in, I was part of the development with not development of it, but the auditing side of it, and the general resistance to change and the oh god, I've got to learn and everything. It was just like, no, I know what I know, and I know I'm doing a good job. And you're like, well, do you know these changes? How have you learned? How is this going to change, and how does this better you? And the same with the loss of the famous FICAM.
Oh, that's just the sore subject.
I know it's a sore subject, but
I know.
It's highlighting how skilled a pest controller is compared to, as we always say, the dodgy window cleaner who thinks you can just do it down the, now they don't have that.
Well, no, they do have it. They do have it.
People will have cheap ass, they will pay pennies just to get a quick fix. People, general public see a silver bullet and go, you know what? Yeah, that's I'll make it. And you're like, no. But now they haven't got this beautiful instant kill option.
I will say something. All the window cleaners have still got it. Don't worry. They've all still got it. Stockpiles of it. They have. It's obvious.
I know anyone who didn't stockpile for a certain level. But
I'm not on about pest controls. I'm about with the window cleaners. There's a lot of them. But yeah, let's skip over that. Let's.
It will run out. It will run out. But
that's when you'll notice the real level playing field.
Yes, it's highlighting the skills of the pest management industry, and it's only when they're gonna fall off a cliff because they just don't have that scientific knowledge and the learning behind it, and it's bringing back the worth in the pest controller.
Oh no, it definitely is. But if only we had to have certificates to buy professional insecticide. I know the likes of the big companies won't sell to the public if they're not got qualified, like an insecticide. But you can go online and literally buy any insecticide. It's frightening. They go on about rodenticides, but you can go on any website and buy whatever you like. You can, and there's no certificate required. So maybe one day there'll be one.
Maybe, but saying that,
they don't know how to use it.
Well, they don't know how to use it, and they'll fail anyway. But it's the way that rodenticides have gone. Obviously, now it started at so level, but it was like, you know what? The biggest culprits are in terms of the agriculture. I think I don't have official data behind that, but and so it's changing. Yeah. And from my perspective and our perspective as Veritas, we work with basis. We do auditing of storage of pesticides, so large agrochemical stores for their fields and things. But on the side of that, many of them sold rodenticides. So as part of the audit, we do this little side piece which is about rodenticides and are you doing it under crew and XYZ. This year, so many of them are like, don't bother, we don't need an audit, we're not doing them anymore. With the new regulations, it's not worth it. We don't get that many really. So already the avenues in which the agrochemical farmer down the road got it from his local store, they aren't going to exist anymore because it's not financially viable for the wholesalers. So this change, which is a bit of a pain in the butt,
they might be ringing us instead.
But in theory, they're going to get to January, and you're going to hear lots of. And I've got loads of we've got loads of agrochemicals kind of contacting us saying like, we need to get trained. We need to get trained. I'm like, we have to wait till after harvest season. You're like, well, it goes in 2026. You need to wait and do your training, and then it's got to go, and you've got to get your certificates, and there's going to be a delay because there's going to be so many people.
Yeah.
So either they're not bothering or they're getting trained. And most of them are just not bothering. So therefore, it should, at least for the first part of 2026 to the full of year, they should be going to the professionals. So if anything, though it may mean you've got to retake your exam or you've got to sign up to CPD, which you could get most of your points from a crossword book. Another
Oh
plug.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which is easy. It's going to be a good thing
Yeah.
for our industry, and I can see it happening. So you can, the pest professional can be confident and comfortable knowing from what I've seen anyway that it's the aggros just aren't offering it anymore.
Well, that's good to
That
hear.
saying that, the pesticide certification, if we think about how much we've had to do and what our constraints are with the rodenticides, imagine the amount of red tape we'd have to go through with the number of insecticide actives and having them vetted and having the certification and the right training for the right ones. We'd end up going down the route of like agrochemicals. So having PA1, PA6, we'd have to have all these for every single kind of equipment we use. It's
quite complicated.
Yeah, it's a hard one. So though it's a horrible when you see any Tom, Dick, and Harry buying it off of the internet and buying it and doing it themselves, actually they're going to do a crappy job because they don't have the training behind them anyway. So
exactly.
I'd say protect your toolkit and keep it as it is. Just
well, it's always up. Be careful what you wish for as well. There is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, did you have this funny story about you getting locked out some toilets or something? You told me.
Oh, this is my token story, and I love it. It happened at a BPCA forum. So I was with Pest in its infancy, with the two bosses. I think it was my third or fourth forum.
Okay.
It was in a room. It was all together, and there was some bathrooms within the same room. But it really highlights this story, the gender change or the gender gap in the industry, which is now a lot better.
Yeah.
But 10 years ago, at least, it was me going into the ladies' bathroom, which is literally straight off of a room. The door and the people were right there. I get locked in.
Locked in?
Okay. I get locked into a bathroom cubicle, but because there are no other females at this entire forum, except for our beautiful Lauren from the events team, but she's far too busy dealing with the actual event that's running and making sure all the talkers are having their. So I'm in there for at least 2 hours.
You didn't have a mobile then?
No, because I didn't take my mobile in because it was I was on the desk. I was in a forum. I had nothing. I was engaging. So nothing with me. So I couldn't contact. I'm smashing on this door, whacking it with shoes. No, nobody listens or hears. Nobody's coming in to see because no one in the event's female. Right. And I'd come in my lovely formal salesperson type because it was quite early on in Pestfix. So I'm in tights and skirt and heels. And I'm like, and this cubicle, there wasn't an underneath. And they were really tall. There was a way at the top. So I got, right, okay, it's been 2 hours. No one's coming. I need to get out. Why the bosses, by the way, didn't notice that I disappeared for a long period of time. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm there. I throw my shoes over the top. I throw my tights over the top, and I start climbing like a little monkey. Have my hands hanging at the end of this door, trying to work out. I didn't have the very good upper body strength at that time. I'm like, I don't know how. I'm trying to get up, and at that point, Miss Lauren Day with, I want to say Kevin Higgins. It was someone well known in the industry for their fantastic, their information and stuff. Comes in and with my claws over the edge, shoes, tights on the other side, and I'm just hanging there going, Lauren, is that you? Let me out. I've been here for hours. But it's just that little story of me being embarrassingly caught in a situation which was just. But yeah, if there had been more females in the industry, I might have been able to get out sooner.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong. You got to, I can see why that would happen. Yeah, that's not a.
But I say that nowadays, when I'm at these events, and I am at them fairly regularly, it is very much a different scenario now. Before, you never used to queue for the ladies' bathroom at these events, but now you do have to queue because that gender is slowly changing. It is, and it never will be a complete. You never change fully, but there is some evidence of it kind of getting a bit more both ways.
It's getting better, it is, and obviously you're seeing it. You go to far more events than me. You do. I've only been to one. Well, I'm going to one in September, the Kill Germ one, and that's the only. And then I've got Pest Tech because I'm obviously helping with Pest Tech because I'm on the committee.
Well, that's it. You're part of the MPTA now, so you've got to kind of represent at some point, I suspect.
Oh, I'm helping organise the Pest Tech, and I tell you what, you think it's all easy? It's not. You budget this, budget that, get agreed, everything agreed. It's fun though. I'm liking it. I'm going to the meal the night before. I did not know there was a meal night, and I'm going onto a meal the night of. PCN or news or something. Going to that. Never done anything like that ever.
Oh, this is the thing. If you don't go to these events and you don't read like the news articles and the magazines, and you don't actually keep up with that sort of part of our industry, then you don't know what goes on, and it's difficult in getting the communication out. So I'm on the outreach and communications committee for the BPCA.
Okay.
One of our drives is to try and get communication out to the pest controllers who just aren't. They don't read the emails, for example. They're not the sort of people that sit there looking at the work emails, which is, it's great. But these podcasts are a fantastic kind of step to getting learning, communication, and everyone in the industry kind of all together as a community. And it's great. I think it's a great thing. And I want more people to be able to click it on Spotify, have it in their car whilst they go from job to job. It's great. It's a good.
It's good.
I think it is. What else we could do?
I don't know. I mean, this is a video podcast, but for the vast majority of people probably listen on Apple or don't watch it. But the biggest platform for the podcast, or as in what you define as a podcast platform, was Apple. However, Spotify absolutely crushes it now. It does. I don't know whether it's people are watching the videos. I don't know, because you can watch videos on Spotify. Podcasts you can, you can watch. And I don't know, but Spotify for the video for downloads, basically, what his actual podcast is or used to be, that does the best. It does. So I don't know what the next thing could be. I don't actually know.
I don't know. I love an audiobook, and I do a fair amount of traveling. So, but it depends whether you're sort of person who ends up traveling in long distances. But I feel
I have audiobooks too. My wife's like, there is. I'll tell you one thing: there is not any real audiobooks out there for pest control, and if they are, they're not by people within the industry. And there ain't any. I tried to put stuff in. There's nothing. My wife's nearly an investor in Audible. I mean, the amount of books she owns with Audible is unreal.
I love Audible. Yeah, audiobooks keep me going on the road. And if I had something that was just, even if it was just someone talking at me instead of reading. I found
something recently, a book on entomology. I found a book on that. And that's. I'm doing a diploma in that. I'll start doing it. A diploma in entomology. There's no time limit on it now, if I've probably said it wrong, but it's to try and make me better at bugs, identifying bugs as well. It is. But that's 150 CPD if I ever get it done. It's a bigger course, that is.
Honestly, entomology is fantastically fascinating.
It was.
Me and Paul, even Sam, one of our FBs, we will go around, and in every single handbag I have, there are little pots. So I can get samples at any time. Microscope, go. It's fascinating. Really
the biggest thing that fascinated me was the fact that I did not know. I know it's a bit morbid, but on murder scene crimes, they look for bugs and all sorts, can tell them when the person died or was killed or whatever. That's mental. That really is.
You've got loads of places that there will, particularly those that are in what's the phrase? When you convert an old pet or an old animal taxidermy, that's the one.
Oh,
So
yeah.
taxidermy, or there are collections of people who do skulls and like bone-based anatomy for teaching. They will
Okay.
use the dermestid beetle, a pest
Yeah.
beetle, to devour the flesh so that they can have a nice pristine bone to then teach to the students. So and
Oh, okay.
that's pest control. That is a pest
Wow.
control species out there being used and farmed specifically for a job. So
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? So,
yeah.
talk about Pest Minds and what Pest Minds is, because you're creating quite a stir. People are liking it. They are your
Good.
new project. They are.
Good. So what Pest Minds was a concept that I came up with, and it was sitting there mulling in my brain for a few months, and I was like, you know
Okay.
what, let's actually do something here. Let's see what happens, and let's see if it makes a difference. Because in my mind, making a difference it's fantastic. So I've done a few talks on mental health in the pest control industry, and at least there was one specifically that always rings true in my mind, but there's a few where people come at the end.
Yeah.
They will talk to me about the, you know what, it's been great you've been talking about it in this way, and you know what, but someone specifically came up to me and said, I heard your talk last
Yeah.
time at something else, and
Okay.
because of you, I decided to go and actually get help, and it has changed my life. And for someone to say, you've changed my life just with a few words, just with a few stories. I mean, I wasn't going into super scientific detail or it was just
Yeah.
a form of communication and kind of questioning the stigma behind mental health and how we perceive it and our perspectives. But to have someone say you've changed your life, like that's that's
That's
that's
that's
fantastic.
that's
I
exactly
mean,
what you want.
exactly. Just
Did you cry at that? Did you get emotional over that or not? Because
not in front of them, but I did have
I
a little bit
imagine.
in the car. I on
I
the way back,
imagine.
it does, and it still touches me. And it's the fact that we don't communicate mental health very well. Generally, not
No.
necessarily the pest industry, but overall, and the stigma and kind of the presumptions behind mental health, they automatically make us close up, and we are afraid of being able to communicate because of those perceptions. So looking weak, or being vulnerable, or not seeing, might not be a reliable person, or they might infect their work because someone's like, you know what, probably wouldn't, because of. So all this sort of worry and angst that
Yeah.
goes behind it stops us from talking about it. So I'm like, okay, what can we do to make things better? And one of the talks, we had people communicating saying, you know what, I won't say anything about mental health. I mean, I have now because I got to a certain
Yeah.
point, because I'm worried about losing my gun license. If someone finds out,
That's came up a lot. That has about the guns. Yeah. It
so there was
has.
I was too worried about it, so I just buried everything in my mind. I didn't want to talk about it. You know what, I didn't. But actually, it came to a boiling point, and then actually, when I went and sought help and I spoke to my local, the PC department and things like that, nothing happened. It was
Okay.
all fine because
Okay.
I'd gone to see help at the right time, and I had a right plan, and things were, and X, Y, Z. Obviously, I
Okay.
can't speak for
Uh,
everyone's constituencies, and everyone's, police departments are different, and the licensing rules and the opinions of certain police officers may have an impact. But
yeah.
that's one of the constraints. And then others were, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want my boss to find out. I don't want him to find out. I don't want to, I
Uh,
don't want someone.
uh,
Okay. So I thought, you know
yeah.
what? There's no communication. How can we make this communication easier? How can we break these barriers down? So I
Yeah.
created Pest Minds. It is a communication platform. Effectively, it's a website
Yeah.
where people will submit their mental health stories, and I will then publish them on the website. I've done a collection of media training and mental health training with Mind to kind of make sure the stories are both anonymous, make sure there's
Yeah.
no inference in service provision in certain areas, there's no inference to the person, their employer, there's no, it's all kind of, I tweak to a level where it's made it acceptable for publishing on the general internet, So
That's
there
good
are
then. Oh,
certain things that you have to kind of say with certain words and phrases,
okay.
but it generally is their story. So it's their story of whether that it's a big story or it could just be a small thought.
Yeah.
But because that story is coming out, someone might read that. And if that person reads that and goes, you know what, I'm now confident that I'm going to do something about me. I've
Yeah.
noticed something that actually, you know what, I can relate to this. Maybe I should go and see help, or this is a really good thought pattern. Like one of them is someone who does he's a sole trader, he's got his own business, and he's, you know what, I separated my work phone and my home phone. I literally made two mobiles. One goes off over the weekend. I don't touch it. It's off. And just by doing that, my stress levels and my general mental welfare has increased fantastically just because I turned it off. And it's simple little things.
Yeah.
Some of them are really big stories. So some of them are someone's gone through a very, very big journey from a very basic thing, or someone's noticed something in somebody else, or there are certain triggers. Some of them are very small, but it's amazing what one person's story read can do to you. So
Oh,
that's the whole
it's good.
purpose behind it.
So if
And
someone wanted to give you a story, but they weren't Bob, so say they wanted to give you a story, but they weren't. Say they wanted to say who they were. Would you put their name out there? Is that against your policy? Say someone wasn't Bob. Say they wanted to put their name on it. Can they?
No.
No.
So
Okay.
their story submission that is literally
Yeah.
is a put your name, your email, and give me your story.
Yeah.
The name of the email can be a complete alias. You don't have to put
Okay.
anything real. It could be a fake email and a fake Mrs. Niggins name. It doesn't matter. The only reason I have those two parts in there is I will say, here's the slightly tweaked version to make it safe for, it's a mental
Yeah.
health communication site. So
Yeah.
we have to be careful. I have to put triggers, warnings, and things.
Okay.
Here's the version of it before it goes live later today. That's literally all that email's for, and all that name's for. So
Yeah.
anything that gets put in there that has any form of identity will be taken out. It will
Okay.
just, and there are T's and C's on this website explaining exactly what's done. So obviously standard communication protocols, no racism, no hate speech, and all that jazz. But there's also a no talking about the company you work for. You can put it in your submission.
Yeah.
If you don't want to think about having to figure it all out, and you can tell me your full life story.
Yeah.
But I will make it so that it is completely anonymous, so that anyone who does read it doesn't know who it comes from and where. It's so
Okay.
generic in that
Oh, that's
format.
fine. You mentioned Minds there. I did a charity walk for them. I raised 354.9494. 55 miles. Yeah, it was this year. 55 miles over. 55 miles over a month. I did for them. I raised quite a bit for them.
Well done. Yeah,
Did.
Minds a fantastic charity. So, I mean, the NHS is brilliant in what it does, but Mind supports the NHS very well, and it provides that communication and the information that you might not get immediately from other services in your area, or they might just kind of direct you and give you a bit more hard-hitting information. So some of the stuff that you really just want to know as well as other people's stories and things. So it's just, and that's kind of where I got partial inspiration from, because they have a lot of things about people's stories, but it's like, we need to have this pest industry relatable, because it just won't support the pest management. We are a group of people, a community that are very quirky. No one knows our industry unless you're in it. So being able to communicate stories from each other, it makes a huge difference. It really does. And all I want to do with this is just help by just communication. That's all it is.
No, it's definitely true. I mean, although I wouldn't say I suffered with it, but like I basically broke my knee twice, left knee twice over since 2020, rehabbed, and then, I lost loads of weight, did all well, and I just couldn't be asked in my head. And then I like all back on. Then in April 2024, I re-broke the kneecap, and then got walking again. And ever since April 2024 to today, I've lost 8 stone, and I've kept it off. And I tell you what, it helps you mental. You feel a lot better about yourself. Plus, one people don't realise is because in pest control, you need to be mobile it helps you do your job far better. And I've noticed when I go to the gym, it's a right. I wouldn't say I've suffered with it. I've experienced it where you know in your head that you need to do something, but you don't actually want to do it. And you're like ashamed because there's no photos of me at my highest because I didn't like being photographed.
You don't like how you look, do you?
But then I found some, but not the ones at my peak. But we're talking, I was nearly 30 stone. We're talking. So I've done quite well in that period to lose a lot. I have. So, but it does. So I'm going to be writing an article soon about this, about weight loss and the gym. You don't have to go to gym. Anyone can do whatever they want. And it helps mobility within pest management because a lot of people don't think about being healthy within pest management, do they? It's not something they think about, but you've got to think about. Like I do a lot of mold control. I've got to get on my knees, but I've got a knee thing I sit on. But to get up and down, when I broke my knee, I couldn't get up and down off the floor. Now it's like no problem. But yeah, it's all connected. I reckon it is.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So there's all sorts of different parts of you and your personality. And when something jarringly changes that and has that impact, and whether that's not being able to be at work or not being able to do a certain thing, or generally, your health has deteriorated and your mental well-being alongside the physical aspects of things it's a huge
So
thing.
it snapped in my brain though, when I done it in April 2024, where I don't know if it's what Sean said on the podcast, but I had not long become 40 in December. And obviously, I broke my knee for the second time. And I thought, I've got kids, my missus, I can't do this again. I can't be off. And like, that's a lot. That's part of it. But like, my kids can do this on my belly and show me where I was. And it's frightening as to where I was at. But yeah, they're all. It's a big thing, and they're all proud of me for it. They are. It's a good thing, but got much more energy now. Don't get me wrong. I've still got a long way to go, but I'm happy where I am now. I'm carrying on going, but it's. I think it helps in general. I do,
and that's a very key point. Being happy in yourself.
Yeah.
It's easy just to kind of roll on day, and go, oh yeah, I'm not. But to be able to look at yourself and go, I'm happy in me wherever you're at, and to be proud of your own self is huge. It really is, because it's easy to be proud of other people. It really is, but being proud in yourself is very difficult and can be quite uncomfortable feeling.
I am, but it's taken a while because although I've shared my story, you see, about how much I've lost on different platforms, even next door, all within the company socials. And a lot of people have called me inspiring. And when you hear that, like you've done really well, keep it up. I struggle when people actually praise me face to face or on a podcast or something. I don't know what to do because I've had some people call me, some customers say it's really inspiring. I've seen what you've done. You've done really well. And I know you should be like, yeah, or I am, yeah. But I'm like, have I really lost that much? Because in your head, you sometimes don't think, oh, I've lost that much. But it's when someone's not seen you for ages. It's a weird thing in your head. I know I've lost and done well. Maybe it's imposter syndrome. I don't know. Some crap like that. I don't know. But it's always weird when people tell you. It's nice that people tell you because you're doing a good job. But I have inspired others to try and get on the weight loss journey. I've never told people to. It's people seeing the story. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, and that. So there's two parts of what you're saying here. So one of the mental health talks I've done. One of the points is it's called "Be a Nice Cream Code." It's got a little GIF and it goes around, and it's just. The nice things that you see in your head, actually say them. Don't just think it. It doesn't have to be a friend. It can be a stranger. But by doing so, you actually make a huge impact in someone's life. So someone telling you how well you've done and that you're inspiring immediately makes you feel fantastic as well as the person. But if that hadn't been said, well, you're depriving. Why hold back? There's a part of when you're a kid. One of the stories I say is I had this kid. I
Yeah.
do a gardening club for the children at school. Just I don't know how I've ended
Okay.
up doing it, but I'm doing it. But one of the
Yeah.
kids came to me and said, "If it weren't for you, Miss, I hate school, but I love it now. I love coming."
Oh, that's great.
And
That
as a
is.
kid, they're so open and honest and willing to say what they feel and what they think. But as adults, we somehow get into this weird, oh, what do people think if I say that? What do people? But complimenting someone very briefly, even if it is just a stranger, you just walk past and go, "I like your shoes, mate. They're great." Makes a huge impact on someone's day. So it's important to, and it's great that you're getting that response and acknowledging it. And though it does make you feel a little uncomfortable, it does make you feel great, right? A little bit.
Yeah, it does.
Should
I mean,
feel.
I'm one of these people in the gym now. If I see someone that's been going for quite a few weeks and they're really trying,
Yeah.
I do go up to them and
Yeah.
say, "You're doing really well. I've seen you." And a lot of them say thanks and start smiling.
Yeah.
You know, they do.
Yeah, it's huge. And as you're saying, you communicating your story is having an impact on someone else. And that's the whole point of Pest Minds, to communicate the stories. And when it comes to mental health, it's like you don't realize how amazingly important your impact your story can have. You could, I mean, we talk about, and you hear it publicly in the news and a lot of obviously about suicide rates and mental health declines and everything else. It's all can be quite hard hitting. And just one person's little story, you could effectively save a life. So why don't you just communicate it? And that's kind of, I'm trying to encourage people. Obviously, some people aren't in the right place and it doesn't feel
Yeah.
right and they don't want to, that's absolutely fine. But if you think potentially, you know what? It doesn't have to be a huge thing either. It could be something very minor. So I mean, you're telling me now that your mental health hasn't, it's not really a mental health thing. Well, actually,
It probably
if you
was. Probably was. I
that's
don't.
it. If you got to a point where you were injured and then you put on weight and you felt bad in yourself, you wouldn't take pictures of yourself because you felt awful in what you
Oh, I
were.
take selfies all the time now. I'm a right poser.
Exactly. And that is an impact on your mental well-being. So that in its
Yeah.
own right is a story. Obviously, I don't
Yeah.
expect you now to write a publishing because obviously it won't be anonymous.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to communicate to people. And there are
Yeah.
some interesting stories that have come through. I mean, one of them is about the distress that someone has felt from dispatching rodents and animals.
Oh, okay.
And you won't hear anyone in our industry. I mean, we don't like, and some people are really happily bragging about how many rats
Well, I
they've
mean, the first time
got.
I
And that's
had to shoot a squirrel, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, no, but
no,
it had to.
but
But
and
it's the
it was
first time.
it's a fantastic story that someone's
Yeah.
gonna, you know what, even if it made them feel a little bit lighter by saying, you know what, I couldn't tell this to anyone openly in my industry because I didn't know what people would think about me, but
Yeah.
they said it. And actually dispatching animals, some people it doesn't matter, it's part of the
Yeah.
job and it just goes on, but for some it does actually have an impact. These are live and it might have relationships with their religion or culture. So it, these stories make a huge impact, and it doesn't matter how big or how small. You don't know what's relevant to another person. So by communicating, never hold back and kind of shy away if you think you are ready and willing to kind of communicate.
Oh, no, it's good that is. I didn't realise all that was connected to mental health at all. What I did, but it sounds like it was. It was. It's.
Well,
It.
mental health is the same as exercise and your muscles and you know how well your body is doing.
Yeah.
It's easy for us to break a leg and openly talk about it and walk around with a cast in work and you don't feel bad about it. But if mentally you are struggling, there are neurochemical, there are reasons, scientific reasons.
Yeah.
Our brain is an amazing piece of engineering. And if something breaks a little bit there because of, and that may be our own behaviors and actions, that is still an illness. That is still, say you've pulled a muscle. It is something and you're having to heal and kind of get over, and hiding it away and not being willing to kind of see it as something to work on.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but it's
It doesn't like I have shared my story, and in general, people are nice, but I have the odd bad because I put a lot of my stuff on TikTok as well. But I don't have insecurities, so if someone says nasty things, and they have, it actually doesn't bother me. It's their problem. They're
yeah,
insecure about something else. I've learned that I've got a thick skin now in social media, and if someone wants to say something, they can. It doesn't really bother me. I usually get fat lips. Well done, mate. I've really heard that. I've heard that before. Very original.
Inventive. Good on you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do question, like, okay,
Probably never heard that ever. I heard that when I was a kid. Yeah.
That's it.
Very original.
I remember being bullied as a kid, and it got to a point where I was just like, actually, you're saying the same things over and over again, and so what? It's amazing. You kind of get to a point where you pity the other person if that's what you want to communicate and that's how you want to talk.
Yeah, but it's funny because in the real world they would never walk up to me. I'm quite a big guy. I'm 6'3". There's a high chance they wouldn't even say anything to me. But in this world of social media, people feel that there's no person behind the other side of the keyboard and they can say what they like. But that's the world we live in now. But I do put myself out there, and admittedly I do. But I've learned to have a thick skin. I have. But
and hence why Pest Minds is anonymous,
exactly.
And it only goes, and the submissions only go through to me. I'm not affiliated with any. It's not with Veritas at all. So ignore that. Ignore that logo in the corner. It is me and me alone to work through, and I do it all in my own time. It's all out of hours, so it's someone might publish a few stories have come through, and it take a couple of weeks for me to get around to really spending proper time on them. But to give people a little bit of confidence, knowing there's no alter background. Someone's going to find something out, and it might lead to me being found out in some other company. There's none of that. Okay. It is just to communicate anonymously, safely. And there are as well, obviously, links on the website of if you are in a worry and you are struggling or you want to get some communication, then there are links to sites that are fantastic. I mean, one, for example, is called Shout. It's a text system, and you're messaging and you get instantly put through to somebody by via text message, and you're talking to them for a period of time. And you're not having to wait for someone to pick up a phone. And as you say, sometimes messaging and not having that human sort of manipulative sort of interaction, you can't help but try and make certain ways you talk. It's just human nature. You want to come across as a good person or something. You want to bring your personality across well, and other things you kind of don't want to say, or prejudices. Anyway, there's none of that, and so a messaging system.
That's good then. That is, I mean, it is a lonely industry, pest control. Although I do work my dad's still, which is great. I speak to a lot of pest controllers daily. We message on either WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, and these are guys that honestly they're like solo operators, and we message each other all day. And I find Dave's told me that really helps. That does, because just to talk, just about anything, not specifically always pest control, but that helps because it's very lonely. It is for the ones that a lot of people.
And you go to your clients and you kind of put on a professional face and like, right, this is me, but actually it's not you, it's you being a professional and to a certain level. And you can't really, some people are great at becoming relating with their customers and having those conversations, but to others it just doesn't come naturally. So to have a community or support network for them that understand the job, understand it, and you can say something and have a bit of a joke, a bit of banter, but it doesn't actually have to be anything professional. This community is important. So communication is huge, and finding a support network is really good. And I've had a lot of pest companies, solo ones, or those that are small groups anyway, micro businesses, who say that initially they're very afraid to talk to their local pesties because they're worried about competition and but actually when they do have these conversations, nobody's really fighting, particularly if they are these small sole traders and micro businesses. They're all supporting each other and actually tend to help each other out when because look, I'm out on holiday, can you cover these clients? Great, I'll do the same for you. And that supportive network, and it is just kind of taking that step to have that communication. So
I get on with the vast majority of the local ones in my area. Not going to say all of them, but the vast majority I do.
There's always black sheep.
Well, what's it called? My friend, he doesn't mind me mentioning his name, Sam Tricky, went to one of your conversations at MPTA in Southwest. He thought you did a very good talk. He did. Thought it was very informative and helpful. He said it was a nice talk. He did. Because I mentioned had you on. Oh, make sure you tell her that I enjoy your talk. So there you go.
Bless.
There you go.
See, and this is it. It's just communicating, and it's amazing what impact it has on people. It really does. So talk about anything.
Exactly. So what would you say to somebody if they didn't want to, say, reach out for professional help as such, but needed help in a way? Would you say talk to friends or something like that if they weren't ready for the next step?
Okay, so again, this is another one of my parts in my talks where a lot of people will go, I feel like a burden. I don't want to lay this onto somebody else. I feel like I'm having to deal with all this problem, and I don't want to then put someone else under this pressure and stress or whatever it is. So I say flip it round. If your mate came to you and said, do you mind just having a chat with me? You think, actually, yeah, you know what? Of course. And you feel great for helping that friend.
Yeah.
So flip it back around again. If you're not contacting the people that are around you, whether they be very minor friends or very close friends, you're denying them an opportunity to feel good about helping you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a flip it round, and actually you're not a burden on someone. And nobody who's ever come to me with a problem and said, look, at no point have I gone, oh crap, I've got to deal with them. And there are times when you're like, look, I'm really busy. I am here for you. Can you just give me an hour? I'll call you back. And that's fine. You're allowed to have your own life and be busy and so forth. But at no point have I gone, you know what? It's too much stress. I can't deal with you. Even when I've gone through struggles and I've been at a place, I'm like, look, I'm not in a place right now, but going and talking to anybody, honestly, anyone, that even if it is your work, so your colleagues, your bosses, don't hold back in worrying about what other people think of you, because in most cases, nearly all cases, they want to help. We are humans. We want to help others. And if you don't want to talk to friends, there are loads of different places you can go. So I've said, like the Shout, there are links on the Pest Minds site of lots of different kind of avenues that you can take to seek help. And it doesn't necessarily mean making an appointment with the GP, which is a fantastic way. But there are other ways you can
Problem is for that is most GPs now make you ring them up. They make someone ring you back, and then you've got to tell the receptionist what is wrong with you, and a lot of people won't want to.
Okay, I'm going to back this back at you. Most GPs, the majority now have something called an e-consult where you can input directly off their website. I think it's only for like half of the day, but you can submit online via the NHS, and you don't speak to a certain person, and they will only ring you back. And they'll send you. You can say, I only want text messages. And they say, you've made an appointment, or we need to talk to you. Please call us. Things like that. So you don't have to have that step. But saying that, to ring someone up at a GP's office, do you really? I know it's not nice to have to communicate and take that step, and it feels so uncomfortable to open up to perhaps a stranger or someone who maybe in the past you're like, receptionist, God, they just don't want to hear from me. As soon as anyone mentions mental health, the NHS, the reception teams, anyone will immediately, right, I know that I need to get someone to talk to, and I need to give you at least a half an hour appointment. So it's kind of like that. But as I say, GPs are one way and there are e-consults, but that doesn't have to be the route you necessarily take to seek help. So there are loads of different charities and communication streams. Some of them are based on the industries or your age. There are loads of ways to see help, and it's just taking that step and finding the information.
I just thought I'd bring them things up because people will be listening, thinking their kind of roots and Well, I remember when I was ringing doctors. I weren't ringing for mental health at all. I was ringing because I was ill.
Yeah.
But on the phone at that time, it actually said if your case is mental health related, they actually gave you a different number to ring. They did. So it's whether somebody was going to ring that number, weren't it? So a while ago now, but that might put someone off. But you don't know, do you? That's the thing. You don't know.
You don't know what you don't know, and I mean that number might have been a number which meant that you had someone who was actually going to listen to you with sincerity instead of worrying about receptionist who's got Mrs. whatever says that her foot corns or bunions or whatever need looking at today, and the stress of everything else. So you can't predict what's going to happen. And to be fair to the NHS, there are certain areas where some people have had bad experiences, but like with any experience, you don't tend to talk about the positive ones to people very often.
No.
But if you have a bad one, you're willing to tell lots of people.
Yeah, it's true.
Same like you go shopping and you've had a really crap service, mate. Don't use them because they were awful for me. And you tell it, but you wouldn't turn around and say, you know what, I went into that shop and I purchased what I needed and I came out of it. You don't talk about that. So it's and it's the same with social media as well. Negative stories tend to reverberate very quickly. I mean, we know in the pest industry, mega wasps and this negative here and it's like, whoa, reel it in, because actually the science behind it is, and but it's a bizarre, I don't know, are we as humans morbidly curious as to the negative and the bad?
Seems to be now. Everything's geared towards negative. That's why, I mean, I'm no expert in this, but I believe that if you want to have good mental health, do not watch the news.
I don't.
Because that will destroy it. That's why it's depressing. That's why I only hear it every so often when it comes on in the van, the radio's on. But in general, I don't turn TV news on. Because it's factually proven that it will make you depressed. It will. They don't report nice stuff, do they? Nice stories very often. They don't.
No, not often, no. And I think your local radio stations are your best way because they do. They do actually. Local community and stuff. But yeah, you're right. I don't go to the news. I see my husband looking on his phone and I just think, you know what? Mentally,
especially at the minute of all the crap going on in the world, do not look at it. Do not look at it. You don't. So it's the best thing you can do. That is. But,
live in your moment and enjoy what's going on around you in a positive light and notice the things. They may be minor, small things. You're allowed to enjoy the small things in life, really small ones. Hence me, I'm sitting here with a glass of wine with a little Star Trek logo on it right now, and I'm sitting there going, it's kind of, I don't know, little things that I'm living in. I don't take pictures anymore. I've got a bad habit of that actually, but I feel like I'm mentally taking pictures in my mind. I'm living in what moment I'm in. So,
well, yeah, it's like all that situation where, in like, say, I don't know, say you were, I've got to stop. It's autofocus on the camera.
Stop moving, Charles. Stay still.
There, right. Where, say, you see these images where, say, a load of people, when Prince Charles, his son, Prince William, got married, and you've got all these people with their phones out watching through videoing, but then you've got the elderly lady watching through her own eyes, rather than it's better through her own eyes and not through staring through the camera. Because all that stuff will be on the internet for you to watch later. It will.
Absolutely. It will be on the internet later. And what are you recording it for? So you can tell someone else that you've been somewhere?
Well, that's what they're doing it for.
This is it. What did you feel at that time other than, I'm at somewhere, I need to tell someone? No. Absorb, enjoy. And that's one thing I miss about the social dynamic of going out for a drink with mates or going to a pub and having conversations, not having your phone. So when you're sitting there having a chat with someone and going,
it's addictive, and that's the problem. Yeah, it becomes addictive, doesn't it?
Have a conversation about it. Enjoy the moment, because someone's wrong somewhere, that by looking it up and found out the information and it's done. All right, okay, and then you take it a step back and no one's actually going out anymore because you don't need to. You can communicate in other ways. But I mean,
Yeah,
sometimes
I mean,
but
when I don't play on my phone, I get far more done or learning. I can learn something far more than when I'm on my phone or TikTok.
yeah.
It can get doom scroll. You can. And you can
Oh, yeah.
sleep better. You can sleep better as well. You can.
Yeah. That's one thing. I'll tell you now. From
Yeah.
one of my jobs in pre-pest fix and pest industry, I was
Yeah.
in pharmacy, and I
Yeah.
was like a pharmacy dispenser. I did lots of healthcare training and stuff behind it. So
Yeah.
that's partially also where my mental health kind of stuff coming from.
Yeah.
But one of the things is that your phone has a blue light filter on it in the settings.
Yeah.
If you don't have that on, the blue light that comes from your phone in the dawn of day, the first light that comes through from dawn, that has a higher level of blue light that comes through, which
Oh.
reduces the amount of melatonin that you produce in your eyes. And because from the triggers in your eyes, sorry, not from your eyes. So that, and the melatonin is what is kind of like an inducer of sleep.
Okay.
So if you have blue light or all the light coming from your phone when you're doom scrolling at bedtime, which some people do, some people need to wind up, but you're getting the triggers chemically that will tell your body it's still daytime. I do not need to be asleep. And nearly every phone in the volume settings, there is sometimes it's called a
Is
comfort
it called
filter.
Eye Comfort Shield?
Yeah, there you go. Eye comfort shield.
It's on. Yeah, it's on.
So now
Yeah.
you may find if at nighttime you are doom scrolling or looking for your phone, the chemical reaction from the blue light that's now not there will help mean you go to sleep better.
Well, it's already switched on.
I hope that's one. That's
There we
something
go.
in healthcare.
There we go. But yeah, I'm sure someone's learned something there. Probably gone right to the phones now. Oh, it's not on. Turn it on.
Yeah, and if it helps you sleep, then fantastic. It's made an impact in your life. So,
but no, thanks Anna for coming on. I think it's been a good conversation in general. It has. You got anyone you'd want to see on the podcast in future? Paul's been on already.
Oh no. Paul's everywhere. We don't know. I love Paul. He's fantastic. He's a great talker. And honestly, his wealth of knowledge is and his stories are fantastic. I'm 20, 25 years, 30 years in the industry. Brilliant. For me, it's not necessarily about the person specifically. For me, it's the engagement and the communication and the charisma. Okay. So being able to listen, because I listen to podcasts if I can in the car. So anything that is a great conversation isn't death by PowerPoint. Anything's fantastic in that respect. So anyone that's within our industry, and it doesn't necessarily have to be pest professionals, or it doesn't have to be. There are lots of kind of side shoots to our industry that don't tend to communicate. I don't know. Put someone on that has a chat with you. I'd love to listen to it in the car.
Well, I've got guests always booked up to just before, and just before Pest Tech. That's when I'm booked up to. I am.
There you go.
There's no podcast there's no podcast that week. There ain't.
Well, go to the Pest Control dinner, and then you can happily sit there and record someone at the event, and then sign up a load of people. You'll see, it's a really nice day. I think the dinner as well is a really nice sort of everyone lets down their guard, but kind of just it's a community. Let's all have dinner and have a drink and be nice to each other. I don't know.
Oh, that's good then. I might do that. I'll see. There is some people I've been trying to get on, but I probably might see them there. But I find it harder because chemical companies are not as open to having their staff on. I've found hitting barriers like that.
I mean, you might have loads of those particular people who want to, and they'd love to communicate, but they have strict protocols. And these agrochemical companies, they're huge.
There's some of these people when they get on, are geniuses, and I'd love to get Rich on from Invu, but I've so far no. Basically, I don't think anyone from it's hard to get anyone from a big company on.
Yeah,
I understand why, because they want to. They want to make sure that everything's fine. I've even offered to record it rather than go live. And no, not yet. But you never know one day. You never know.
You know, keep trying. You never know. And even if it isn't, you know, the big names from those companies, perhaps even some of the smaller aspects, or just like we
Yeah.
like to have a chat about what it's like to be somebody else, and you're into, you know, perhaps a different reflection in that respect. That's not,
Oh,
yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one for them, and I
yeah.
know a lot of people in that industry.
I understand why though. I do understand why they're like that. I do. But I'm just looking for someone where, because obviously I had Tom Holmes on the other week, and he worked at Celsius. He explained how product development works from start to finish of like EFKs. And I was just trying to find someone who would, from a company, that would explain how a chemical from start to finish works. It's not going to be as simple as that. It's not.
No, but who's to say you don't look at some of the more minor areas that do very minor chemicals?
That's true.
The principle behind it is generally, from what I know, is generally the same, but the timescales are huge. You're talking like 8 to 10 years before an active ingredient can get on the market.
Because people kept telling me, the what's it called? The chemicals get removed quickly. I said, no, it's just that we've had a load recently. But in general, it doesn't happen very often, does it? It's very...
No, it doesn't happen often. And actually, they cycle. So they may go from one business that may not have them anymore, but then some other business decides, you know what, this is now financially viable. And it just so happens that the pest control...
They launch it as a new product, and it's not. It's the same active, but a new package.
But if you think about the sales of pest control products for the urban pest industry as such a tiny drop in the ocean compared to the agrochemicals and the vast area of it. So if you were looking for something like that, I'd say look at like the biocides. So like getting chemicals onto the market that are for bacterial based, you know, not necessarily for urban pest control or pest control as such, because that will give you an idea. And I think they're a lot more open, particularly since COVID and the whole structure. And
I'll try that end then. I will. See if that works. I will. But yeah, thanks for coming on. Stop auto-focusing. Stop moving me head. There we good. There we go. I think. There. Right. But yeah, thanks for coming on, Anna. Anna, it's been great.
Me.
You want to tell people where they can find you, but I have linked your website in the description as well.
Yeah, pestminds.co.uk, and you can find me on LinkedIn and DM me on LinkedIn. So if you need to talk to me personally, then yeah.
All right, and thanks for coming on, Anna. And I'll end it there, and I'll see everyone next Tuesday. Yep. As always, I can't remember who I've got on next week, so you have to wait. I'm not very prepared like that. I kind of look after the podcast. I do. So, right, and thanks everyone. I'll speak to you soon. Stay on for just a second.